So this content, as an example, should be much simpler for ChatGPT, but it is not as important for the bigger picture. So, but that I kind of have to show then ChatGPT as well. So here is just this, like they make so many unnecessary mistakes. Zelensky forderte er. So that's just not a sentence, and that is something AI would see on first glimpse. So I don't get like when it's your job to write. How is this like? How is this even in this time and age? How is this even possible? And then, well, this is Argoldau. So there was this big, what is the term? So like Bergsturz. So basically that mountain range. So avalanche of the mountain, and this is where we went for the Schleimpilz. So what is Schleim? So this is a different kingdom than mushrooms. So a completely different. So slime mold is basically, well, it's something entirely different than mushrooms. Yeah. So like. And then there was this is another thing I shouldn't. So this is the so this fly added. So this is this psychiatrist K, and so there I already made that comment somewhere, like pretty fly for the arrogant invite guy. Yeah, so but it wasn't me doing this, so I'm not really gonna share it. But now I kind of want to draft this chapter. So this should be much simpler, because it's the same when ChatGPT understands what you're talking about, then it writes perfectly fine. But if it's something interesting, then it doesn't work. So this is like at the end of the gymnasium. So there we had to do MaturaArbeịt, and I was in also especially chemistry. So this is Pater Oswald. He reminded me a bit of like Professor Snape in Harry Potter, and the more I think of it, it has. So he was kind of always like jealous or fighting the attention that in his so the holy cows, sport and music got. So he tried to kind of do some counter projects in science. So he wanted to become. That's basically why he joined uh, the also became a priest. So to have the opportunity to become like, also do an academic career, but that didn't work out. So like he wanted to become like also do a PhD assistant professor, but that didn't work out. But still, from like he was like when it, I think he was the best teacher when it comes to like real knowledge in the field. So chemistry and biology especially, and so because like my father was like has a back then it was different. But like he's a doctor in biology. So, well, I mentioned this like doppelganger of Hermione. So at some point she was real interested. So called me because she wanted answers basically from my father. And once I figured out, so that was like yeah, but so I kind of but this was the year I was like provisorisch and did nothing. And well, that's like we had to choose the expert for the MaturaArbeịt kind of before that. So at the end of the fourth year, and so I decided to do it on slime mold, and he made like a presentation. So unlike if you did it with like, so that was our like painting teacher and sports teacher Küttel, so the father of the world champion in Skisprung. And well, he died early, so there ended up that painting which I used in the trailer as well. So like this scene. So it's basically just alles kommt zu denen, alles kommt zu denen, die es erwarten können, und it's this lazy that like kommt. So the M has this slash above it, so it's like it was even too lazy or this chilled that the M is like yeah. So but this is for one recording. I have to do another. So like he had prepared some like for years now. No one like took interest because it's much simpler. So when you did the MaturaArbeịt with Küttel, then you had to like go together to some hockey games and write about that experience basically. And you got the better grade then, but you didn't learn much, of course, right? And so it was about this kid from the Netherlands, and he had like newly acquired a cam on top of the microscope. So it would have been about taking like at least at the Gymnasium in Asseln, the first pictures of the like evolution, because it's just one. So slime mold is just like more like an amoebe or so it's just one type of cells, and they arrange themselves. Um, uh, well, it's actually yeah. So it's actually like much simpler organism. I mean, mushrooms, they have like uh, even three. Also plants have two cell-like borders, and mushrooms have even three. Some of them. But this is entirely different. And so they arrange themselves, and I have this picture because I ended up that I took on this project, and well, it was the year that I kind of became a professional Warcraft 3 player. So, but initially it was not. The problem was that somehow this kit like was like so this lab from the Netherlands kind of went extinct. So we never acquired that kit, and that was agreed that so Pater Oswald would organize that part, right? And this was a big reason and so we discussed it, and I like we had so I had to find a new title, and then it was more like a monitoring project of slime molds in the region. And well, I ended up doing those also like collecting also in nature together with my mother, because she's like a Pilzkontrolleurin in Switzerland, and also has this diploma in Germany as well. And well, you have to like Pater Oswald didn't even know that much. You have to the best time to search for this in air quotes mushroom is like in early spring, when there is still some snow, because then they are in this sclerotium stage, where they are like orange, bright orange, and otherwise they are not. They are really important for the cycle of like the forest, but they are not that easy to spot, right? And well, then I basically ended up writing was definitely not even the last 10 days, and because my Firmgötti was a teacher, I had a key, so I handed it in the last moment, and I was this annoyed with my also with this Pater Oswald. I didn't think about talking to him. I just did my own project, and so it was on the last, so I handed it on the last moment, but in the then the issue was that he thought it was like plagiar, also a plagiat, so that my parents basically wrote it. Well, and I figured out a lot more like annoying. So I was often late, but just a bit, so a couple minutes, and like one day the lesson started with biology in the 5th year, and so if you were late, he kind of so he did like ad hoc like examination. So like well, like if no one was late, then it was lottery, and it is like the best preparation for the examen, right? So because that is orally as well. So like but I like not on purpose, but I was like late 2-3 times, and every time he like did and for me this like this was an advantage. So I knew if I'm late, then I will get so I could prepare when I was late. So yeah, but the issue was that he never but that made sense in hindsight. So I talked to him, well, like recently. So instead of there was like a party for the history teacher. So he had the highest rank in military. So Zufi, Zurflu. So he, when he was 65, there was like a party, and no one ever like thought about making this party for Vater Oswald. So instead of that party, I visited Pater Oswald, and he's like, he's maybe 10 years older, and has now quite dementia, but he's doing fine, and he actually it's less of dementia. Actually, it's just he had this, like, he never was able to kind of connect names to faces. So he actually has, like, it's probably a mental illness in a way. So that's why he wasn't able to. So he then started with like names written on paper. So because he was not able to remember names, and so well, he ended up like asking my German teacher for like excerpts of my essays, because he was this convinced that it's not possible that like I was able to write on that level, basically on my own. And so he ended up grading it with like, but he was never able to prove it. It was just his claim, and that's why he graded it like with the worst mark that is still like a pass. So 4, which is terrible. So if I went to the hockey games and wrote about that, I would have had at least a 5. And then there was this so there was a presentation. So one was like the written work, and then there was the presentation, and they made a perfect mark, and there was and he was again like, so his so they were often so because he was so I mean, they changed. Back in our times, we had like a third of the lessons by like monks, part of the, and now they are there are not many left, especially for the school. There is, yeah, and so Georg, Pater Georg was and yeah, so like I knew, because I collected it, I wrote it on my own, and yeah, so that's just like it's a similar problem that Gauss had. So the teachers, when there is real talent, they are just scared, and then they overshadow that with their own insecurities. And I didn't really care at the gymnasium, but others, like we had this, we had also this girl Dorothee. She kind of attempted suicide because of less, and that's how lackluster. So they are still on Roman roads, not even in the castle age in Age of Empires time, when it comes to psychological like, yeah, and well, he had like a wizard. So there is this so there is Mürsch. So this is a play by the Gastspieltheater Zürich. So there is about eben that the evil wizards, they also they what they hate the most is like art, but music especially. And so it's kind of similar to that. So he has just no, like, but that was another other reason he joined the, because but he's just, that's on him. He's just this scared. So he doesn't get music at all, and he never touched it. So and that's why he's kind of this like he's this black sheep, like the others, they don't get along at all, and it's also like the other monks, because yeah, but all unnecessary and basically just. So there would be so much potential for, like, well, in a way it's a big family, so they would, it's too late, he's now over 80, and but like, yeah, there would have been, so these unnecessary, that's exactly the, yeah. So now the connection to, like, this arc before. So it is another example. So like, we always, because of um, like this doppelganger, and because she had like the best grades probably in all 6 years, not just our year. But when it mattered, so for this real test, which I claim I had to do now, so this real testing by, like, aliens or God, so where you really defend humanity, I would always have chosen me, because I can explain everything. I can explain music. If I have access to a server, I can play chess or poker on a level that is not possible by a human, because I know how to train a neural network. So with that, I can answer again. So that's what I did the last. Also, that's what I did from Friday the 13th to Friday the 13th in December, uh, in 2024. So I just answered all questions, and it turns out I'm actually better than anyone alive I know. And when you come to, like, a real topic, so like Quantenschatten-Informationstheory, and this is of course connected to, like, Schattenkind as well. Then I, like this hat in Harry Potter. Then you have a path. Then why don't you do your PhD on that? Right? So if it's, yeah, but like, otherwise, that's, yeah, and so my grandmother probably would never even have thought about that. But for me, all the human souls I know, so if it was like this gauging, so like, in Monty Python, when they burn the witches, they measure if she's like I don't know, like, uh, also lighter than wood, so they will burn. But like, if I had the choice between, so this is like a plum, so in Zwetschge or Wetsch, I would actually pick the wedge over any human being I encountered, um, except myself. And this is not something that will change ever. That's just, it's not narcissistic. It's based on those experiences. And another reason is that it's much more useful, because how that works, how I explained it with this, like, Quaternionen, so instead of Quaternion, Quaternionen, so this, that you kind of have this stripper magician where you can change, so that would be much more useful. So this part with, like, the wand, or like a witch, I need a witch, and wedge is much closer to witch than any other name. So even if they don't understand, like, I mean, like, why should it be interesting? Like, you cannot even, from the afterlife, you cannot even properly sext send sext, what is the term, like, also, like messages. Like, you cannot sex them, so why would you be interested in girls at all? And the like, if you, but I guess for aliens it would be much more interesting, an apple or a plum. But if that doesn't work, well, then it has to be me. That's just how you arrive at that. So that's why this choice made sense. So that's why I was chosen. So that's following logically according to uh, the math teacher. So that's why I was chosen. Also the Messiah. So I hope that's the issues that, like my mother, if you just mention something like that, they are this insecure. Of course, we all should aspire to follow. So that would be the name of the game, that we try, and they don't even dare. So they are this. They have no purpose in their thoughts, in everything they do. Ja. Ja, das ist auch schon wieder gewesen, da.